can experience three totally different weathers and vegetation. And so we're going to go with the story from the highlands, and maybe 14,000, a long, long time ago, in the time when the Incas people conquered the people of Quito. There was an Inca ruler. His name was Pachacuti. He lived in a temple that was covered with gold and looked always to the sunlight. But his mood was dark and sorrowful, for his only son had born with an illness. None of the court doctors could cure him. And the Inca ruler was getting old, and he worried. In their dynasty, only his only son could be the ruler for his people. So one night, he went down on his knees at the temple and went to pray. And he said, "Oh, great ones, Wiracocha, creator of all things, Aita Inti, please bring your light on my family. Help me to find a cure for my son who is so ill." And he stayed there in silence, waiting for an answer. After a while, a voice came from the fire that was burning in front of the altar. Let the prince drink water from the magic lake at the end of the world, where the water touches the sky. And then after that, the fire sputtered and died. Where the fire was, lay a golden flask. The Inca ruler was very old. He could not go in search of the magic lake at the end of the world. So he sent all his messengers, his chasquis. Chasquis are runners. They run throughout the Andes Cordillera, and they take the messages and deliver throughout the whole kingdom. And they said, whoever will bring water from the magic lake will win a great reward. Many brave men went into that search, and they couldn't find it. In the valley near that castle, there lived a poor farmer with two older sons, his wife and a daughter, a little girl. The two older sons decided they want to go in the search of the magic lake. The father was not happy with that decision. He said, beware of the wild spirits in the forest. But they said, we need to help the prince, and we want to win the reward for you, father. Don't worry, we'll come before the time of the harvest to help you out. And they left. They walked through those cold mountains, the Paramo, days and nights. Weeks passed, months passed. They found many, many lakes, but none where the water touched the sky. After a while, they said, we have to go back to help our father or Taita with the harvest. But let's make a plan. They decided they're going to take water from any of those lakes. And we'll say it's water from the magic lake. If it doesn't cure the prince, maybe the Inca will give us some reward for our trouble. And so they came to the palace in front of the whole court, and the Inca ruler, they say, we bring water from the magic lake. Immediately the doctors gave that water to the prince, but it didn't do any good. So one of the priests said, let's pour the water in the golden flask. Maybe it's that the golden flask has to take that water. But some mysterious way, the more they pour the water disappeared. The Inca said to the magician, can you break the spell of the golden flask so that my son can drink the water? But the magician said, I think what the golden flask is telling us is that these men are lying. The golden flask can just hold water from the magic lake. The Inca ruler was furious. He said, put those men into prison. Lying is a big crime. And they used to hit them with ortiga, which is a very itchy herb they used to punish, because it's very, in the Inca law, it's lying, it's one of the things that is the worst crime. And the ruler had to send again his chasquis, his messengers, all around the territory, telling the sad story of the deceiving brothers and asking for anyone who could bring water from the magic lake. Those messages got to the ears from little Sumac, the sister of the two brothers. She was tending her flock of llamas, singing and dancing with her animals. When she heard those sad news, immediately she ran back home. She asked her parents permission. She wanted to go in the search of the magic lake. But you are too young. You cannot go in that journey. Look at all those evil spirits that had make your brothers lie, said the father. And the mother said, what will we do if we lose you? But the little girl said, but imagine if I find the magic lake, maybe the Inca will free my brothers. And we need to help. What will be, how do the king will feel if his son dies? So they really thought, maybe it's the God's will that you go in the search of the magic lake. Little Sumac was so happy. She immediately ran to get ready her favorite llama pet so that she will have some company for her journey. Her mother prepared a little woven bag with toasted corn, maíz tostado, and chicha drink, the corn drink that we make for them to nurture. And so she took all that, embraced her parents, and she started her way. But she remembered that she had to follow the path of the mountain and follow the birds, because she knew the language of the birds. The first night, she cuddled between some rocks and with her llama pet, and she slept there. But throughout the night, she heard the cry of a hungry puma, the wild cat of the Andes. Very early next morning, she sent her llama back home. She didn't want her beautiful llama to be food for the puma. And she continued walking. The second night, she decided to spend the night. She climbed a tall, tall tree. And there she made her little bed. It happened to be the same tree where some sparrows had nested. She shared her corn with them. Then she drank her chicha and fell asleep. Early next morning, she woke up with the talking of the sparrows. She had that power to understand their language. If all the sparrows were saying, that little girl is never gonna find the magic lake. But the other sparrows were saying, well, we should help her. She was the one who shared her food with us last night. Sumac pleaded, please, please help me. And she told them the story of her brothers and the prince who was ill. Well, we will help you, said the leader of the sparrows. Each of us will give you a magic feather. These feathers have power. So each of the sparrows lifted their wing, and out of their wing they gave her a very special feather. Put those feathers together and make a fan, said. You have to put them together and have it at fun. And so the little sumac took a hairband and tied it up so that they are together all the time like a fan. These feathers have the power to take you wherever you want, and also they will protect you. Because I have to warn you, there are three very, very evil creatures guarding the lake. But do not fear. Hold the fan in front of your face, and you will be safe. Sumac thanked many, many, many times the sparrows for this gift. And very politely, she held the fan on her hand and said, "Please, take me to the magic lake." And a breeze swept her out of the tree, and up she flew through the mountains to the huge snow peaks of Los Andes mountains. We could see all those huge snow mountains. And there she landed in a lake that was so big, a beautiful lake, that where she was standing, it really looked like the water touched the sky on the opposite side. At that point, little Sumac realized she forgot to bring her container. And she said, "Oh, I wish I had bring my bottle." And she wept. Immediately after that, she heard a little sound in front of her. I thought, and there was a golden flask, the same like the one had appeared in front of the Inca temple. She kneeled to get the flask, and she was coming closer to the lake to fill it, when from her back she heard a hissing voice. "Go away from the lake, or I will and strangle you with my long legs." She looked back. It was an enormous crab with black as a night, big as a pig. Immediately, little Sumac took out the fan from her waistband and put it in front of her face. The crab closed its eyes and fell asleep, soundly asleep on the sand. Sumac ran closer to the water to fill the golden flask, but then out from the water gurgled an enormous alligator, opened its mouth and said, "Go away from the lake, or I will eat you," as he really beat the water with his big long tail. Sumac kept holding the fan in front of her face, and the alligator closed its eyes and went inside the water. Down, down he went, totally asleep. Sumac did not have time to catch her breath, because now, as from the air, she heard a whistling voice. It was a flying serpent, red as blood, and her eyes sparkled. "Go out from the lake, or I shall bite you." Little Sumac one more time held the fan in front of her face, and the serpent closed its eyes, closed its wings, and coiled itself on the sand and fell asleep and started snoring. By this time, little Sumac knew that she was safe. She took a breath, and then she went to fill out the golden flask. And holding the bottle in one hand and holding the fan in the other, she said, "Please, take me to the castle." And up into the air she flew again. And before she had time to blink, she landed at the front of the castle. She said to the guards, "Please, I have to see the prince. I bring water from the magic lake." The guards escorted her fast to the room. It was a very dark room, a room full of sadness. The Inca ruler was pacing from one place to the other. The prince lay pale on his bed, motionless, with his eyes closed. His mother was crying at his side. Sumac did not lose any time. She started pouring some drops of that water into the prince's mouth. And as soon as the water touched his lips recovered some color. The more she held and gave him some more water, the prince's cheeks flushed. And the more he drank, then he could sit and sat and opened his eyes, and he said, "I feel strong." He was so happy. The Inca ruler was so happy too, and he embraced Sumac and said, "All the riches of our kingdom cannot repay what you have done for us. You have saved our son." Little Sumac told them the story about the magic fan and the birds and the golden flask and the terrible creatures, and they were amazed with her courage. "You can ask whatever you want," said the Inca ruler. Sumac said, "I just have 3 wishes. The first one, I ask you to free my brothers. I know they learned their lesson. They're not going to lie anymore. They just wanted to help our parents." And the Inca ruler said, "It's done. Please, guards, free those men." The second one, I would like for my parents to have a big house with lots of animals and lots of land to grow food so that they are not poor anymore. And the Inca said, "Yes, it is done. And the third thing I want is to return these feathers to the birds who gave them, for I did what I have to do." But nobody had time to say anything, because as soon as she said that, the fan itself opened and it started flying into the air, and it went out through the window until it disappeared. People applauded when it disappeared. And so when little Sumac reached her home, she found her brothers were there happy, waiting for her parents. They embraced together. They were so happy. And the court people was building a new house, a big barn, and they gave Sumac's father a deed with lots of acres of very good land for him to grow food. Sumac was so happy and she embraced with her family. And for the golden flask and the Inca family, it is said that that golden flask, it is said that the water was never running out. That the Inca family, whenever they needed, somebody was sick in their family, they had the water, and the whole kingdom was enjoying good health. It was never done. But when the Spanish conqueror came, they asked for a room full of gold. They say that the golden flask was among those treasures. But because they killed the Inca Atahualpa, the ruler, the people furiously, they took all that treasure and buried it in the bottom of the magic lake. But no one but just the little Sumac has ever been able to find that lake. Thank you.